now, where the ANC here in Gauteng is wrapping up its two-day Lekgotla that was aimed at charting a way forward to reclaiming its glory days. In ANC Gauteng Chairperson Panyaza Lesufi is currently addressing members of the media. Let's listen in.
And when it comes to the regional conferences that are upcoming, how far are they? Have been any hindrances? Is there anything happening that is not supposed to happen? State of how far the regions are with their conferences. Thank you.
Hatina Bori, SABC News. A lot of my questions were already asked, but I want to really look at fasting was created following the last elections. You've had this two-day Lekgotla. How confident are you the mandate that was created and that 12-month plan is enough to regain and rebuild the lost ground in Gauteng? Also to the residents here in Gauteng, you've mentioned that you're committed, but to many of them, when they go into the areas, whether it's affluent, whether it's your rural areas, we're seeing that decay, experiences. What commitment you have to them that there's going to be change?
Let's go back to the first question. And
okay.
The response from Baba Mastono, and you can follow in that second. Thank you.
Okay. Let me start with when we indicated our master plan, we're basically speaking about our program of action. And it's at twofold, at the governance level and also the organizational level. That is why we said detailed press briefing, where we will then share with you our resolution. Our resolution are amazing. That is why in our closing remarks, we welcomed the contribution of young people, we welcomed the contribution of our alliance partners. We come here as a united front that have a shared vision now. We just have to convene an alliance political council to conclude on all outstanding matters. But again, that master plan is a master plan that National has given us. You will recall, we are holding this Lekgotla after National had their own Lekgotla. So they've given us areas where we need to align, and on the basis of that, we'll share with you what we have. And we are quite convinced with the resolutions that they will indeed assist us on areas that we've identified. I think longer it will be foolish of the African National Congress at this infancy stage that we release or share with you our polling. Our polling was an internal process. We're excited about it. It has identified issues that I've shared with you. Those without jobs say they can't vote for us because they don't have jobs. But those that have jobs, they also say they can't vote for us, which is a moving target. And we appreciated that because it is quite clear that we need to. But they've also identified that we are like a service provider like Vodacom, that we must now know that we are rendering a service, and we must render service to all sectors of our society. Well, the President expressed his views about the challenges of our province. We share those challenges. We have established the presidential task team that have already started at the technical level. We'll be bringing all institutions of government, especially those that are service delivery linked, to now finally turn around the situation in our province. That is why we say we've got G13 plus 1 problems, because we identified those problems as problems that are affected in the province. We accept them fully, and actually we have even gone beyond accepting them. That is why this Lekgotla have added ideas on how best to resolve those issues. Well, regional conferences are a constitutional obligation. It's something that we need to attend. But in terms of their preparations, the roadmap with our provincial coordinator will outline the mechanism that we've agreed to. But they must not be used to divide the ANC. They must not be used to promote factionalism. We're very clear in our discussions that the issue of membership buying, the issue of using money to influence outcome, that as this Lekgotla and this PTT, it will be an area that will prioritize so that we stamp out that kind of conduct and that kind of behavior. But on the modalities and processes of regional conferences, I will leave that aspect to our provincial coordinator and the deputy coordinator. As in, our task team we are indeed confident that we'll resolve the issues of decay. We are one generation that is unfortunate, and sometimes people ignore that. We are a generation that have to deal with aging infrastructure. The infrastructure that was built years ago. So we are entering that era where literally everything that was established at once is coming to an end at once, and it's across. And this was correctly captured in one of the commissions that were in. We are failing to manage one thing that is called urbanization, because the number of people that are now in our province compared to historic or history, we are 3 times what we used to have in our province. So the decay, it's the thing that we have resolved, that we must resolve them jointly with all our municipalities. And we must attend to the challenges that are in our province, not because we are hosting a G20, but because we are doing it for our province as part of our economic turnaround and the issues that we are committed ourselves. I mean, we held an investment conference that gave us almost 320 billion. So to have that 320 billion investment in our province, it means we have to rectify our infrastructural limitation and our service delivery challenges. So we are confident as the task team that these are matters that will be attended to and resolved. I'm not sure, Co-Chair, whether you have additions on some of the issues that are there.
No, thank you much. I want to start off by saying that we remain fairly optimistic that many of the challenges that have been debated here today that confront us will be resolved. On the question of elections, for instance, there's no way one can accurately foretell what the outcomes would be. But overall, having considered research and the kinds of discussions that we have, we're fairly confident that we'll be able to turn back the wheel and have a positive situation in place. In relation to regional conferences, I agree with what the co-convener has said. The guidelines are in place. Of course, the first priority for us, even before the regional conferences, will be to ensure that everybody complies and that the ethical and revolutionary conduct continue to guide the work we do. So we remain a positive. On issues of addressing potholes and traffic lights and all these kinds of problems and so on, I'm sure you're familiar with the fact that these problems are never really new with regard to cities. Cities go through a process where...
All right, we're going to come out of that media engagement there as the ANC wraps up its day Lekgotla there, and they were just addressing members of the media.